Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to SnailMail. SnailMail. Bow, chicka, bow, wow.
Trying to be Barry White over there.
Let's try. It doesn't work that well.
No.
Oh, darn. I need to catch another cold is what it needs.
Yep, pretty much.
I need another chest infection. Bring it on so I can be Barry Manilow. Welcome, everybody, to Friday. The end of the week. Hopefully y'all are gearing up for a fun weekend.
Heck yeah. Happy Father's Day weekend to those out there.
It is Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're getting? Are you getting anything?
I only asked for one thing.
More clothes?
Thus far. No. And it's a Lego bonsai.
Oh.
And they released a new one.
Okay.
They had like a pine or an evergreen kind of style one. And now they have a maple version.
Nice.
So I sent that as here's a possible Father's Day gift.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
I
don't care.
I got a meat thermometer.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So
Bluetooth?
Bluetooth wireless one.
Perfect.
So I'll be able to now cook for the family more often. Yay.
A gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly. Fun times. Anyways, a happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Hopefully you guys have some really fun plans for the weekend. This is SnailMail here on the SnailTrail4x4 podcast. So what we like to do is we release episodes on Mondays and Thursdays. And then you guys get to call in and leave us all the feedback you want about the episodes. You can ask us questions. If there's a different topic you'd like to have covered, you can call in and give us your feedback on anything and everything. It doesn't have to be show related, whatever you want. We love hearing from you guys. And that's really the point of this Friday segment here, is to just hear from you guys and interact with you some more. So we have quite a few voicemails here.
Oh, really? I mean, we only got through like 5 last time and we were at 25.
I think we started at 21 last time.
Okay. And now what are we up to?
24.
24. All right.
So we have quite a few to get through. I don't know if we'll be able to get through. Hopefully we'll do a little bit better than we did last week.
Yeah.
Although there's some fun conversation last week. So
it was. Yeah. Definitely.
Shall we start off?
Let's do it.
All right, we are kicking things off today with Zach from Oklahoma.
Hey, Zach. Is this the one that has the photos attached to it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, something about fuel.
No, maybe not. We'll find out.
I think this is about my whole vehicle purchase.
Okay.
Transition. All right, here we go.
What's up, Jimmy and Tyler? Zach from Oklahoma.
Hi, Zach from Oklahoma.
I just listened to episode 603. Yeah, that was the last one. That was today's. But it caught me off guard that I'm on low on fuel. Okay.
That's what it was.
It caught me off guard when the salesman said that they're discontinuing the Highlander.
Yep, me too.
I looked that up and fact checked it and was like, well, is it the actual thing? So they are not getting rid of the Highlander because there's already talks of 2027 model Highlander coming. Now, what I did find, the Grand Highlander is on a stop sell list for Toyota since June of 24. And it's due to how the side curtain airbag is deploying. It's not deploying in the right way. And in their crash testing, they've noticed that depending on the impact, regardless of whether the airbags deploy, the person's head can hit the A-pillar, even with the airbags deployed, I guess, or it's not deploying right. I don't know. Either way, it's on the stop sell list until they can figure out how to fix this issue. But as of what I found, they're still making the Highlander, just not the Grand Highlander. And the next generation will be coming 2027. Because I think 2026 we're getting the new generation of RAV4. We just got the Forerunner. So that's what I figured out. Also, I got an update for the truck later, but when I find more information about it, because it's in the shop right now, I'll call back and let y'all know what's happening. I might have to get new wheels, so y'all keep crawling. I'll catch y'all later.
That's good news. I would think
new wheels.
No, the Highlander.
Oh, the Highlander.
Yeah, it's not being discontinued. I was like, it seems like too popular of a vehicle. I can't imagine they would be discontinuing it. But I would hope that the Toyota salesman knows more than I do,
right,
about that situation. So
maybe not.
Yeah.
But yeah, interested on hearing a car update. I know that we have a voicemail from you that has some pictures attached to it. Maybe we'll get to it this time or not, but I do see a car update in the future. So thanks for calling in, Zach. Always good to hear your voice, and look forward to the next one.
Sweet. Let's see. Next up is Frank Gillespie.
Oh, Frank.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Gift box Frank.
Yes.
There you go.
Hey guys, this is Frank Gillespie. I'm the Frank that won the gift box and had the birthday. I am not Florida Frank. You guys have mentioned me on the podcast before. I'm Frank from North Carolina, who's also the beekeeper. I called in about some beekeeping stuff because we were talking about that. So I just want to clarify. And also, Jimmy and I have had a conversation on Clubhouse back when that was a thing. So that's it. Just wanted to tell you guys I'm from North Carolina, and let's see, what was the other thing? Well, yeah, Jeeps suck. Keep rolling. Bye-bye.
Love it. Perfect.
Not Florida Frank, but what was it? North Carolina?
Beekeeper Frank.
Beekeeper Frank. I like that one. Beekeeper Frank. And I remember that. What was that called? That chat online?
It was like a Clubhouse is what it was called.
Yeah.
But it was essentially like a live forum.
Right.
Where somebody could sit and have an audience, and the audience can interact with that person live through this forum. So you just had to schedule when you were going to be live, and then people could sit down and chat.
It was really, really popular for a short period during COVID.
Yeah.
When nobody else knew what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But so that was kind of funny. I do remember that. Frank, thanks for bringing that up.
Nice. Next up is Nathan from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see what Nathan's up to today.
Hey, gentlemen. It's Nathan from Pittsburgh here again. Just heard the most recent episode. I'm glad you guys had a good experience with the TRUKD Bed Racks. I've personally been running one for a number of years here now on my Gladiator, probably at least 3, and just used it for the rooftop tent while we went out to Nevada for Trail Hero X there. So love the bed rack, love the functionality and adjustability of it. Definitely the best one as far as I'm concerned. And I guess there's some other comment is, when you gotta, inflate your tires there or deflate your tires there on the rim of the Grand Canyon, Morphlate system works pretty well. So huge shout out to you guys on that. And keep up the great work with the podcast. Catch y'all later.
That'd be such an awesome spot to use a Morphlate too.
I'm like,
you just set it up, let it do its thing, and then you get to sit back and take in the view of the Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Definitely need the Air Hub or the PSI Pro because you would for sure overinflate your tires otherwise.
Right.
You'd just be looking out at the Grand Canyon.
Man, talk about the poop with the view we were talking about before we recorded.
Yep.
Man, that right there. Win. There you go.
For sure. Thanks, Nathan, for calling in.
Yeah, dude.
I really liked the TRUKD Bed Rack. It's gonna go get tested this weekend on my sister-in-law's truck. They're going out camping near Shasta, and I'm excited to hear how everything goes. So this will be
the first time they're using the bed rack in a trip.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. I saw some photos of them like out at an air show, and the kids were sitting on top of the rooftop tent.
Okay.
Like at class watching the air show. But otherwise, as far as I know, this weekend is their first trip with the bed rack and the rooftop tent.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear what she thinks about it and
me too.
how the trip goes.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Nice. Thanks for calling in, Nathan. Hopefully Trail Hero X went really well. The competition.
Yeah.
For it, because everybody's back from Trail Hero X, it's all done. The guys had to wake up in the morning and go essentially leave the parking lot, right? But they deflated everyone's tires overnight.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure they either loosened the valve cores or they removed the valve cores from everybody's vehicle. So they had to go and reinflate their vehicle and then see who caught that their valve cores were bad, essentially, before starting, or else you would get fully inflated, pull off your air system, whatever it is, and completely deflate again.
Oh, that's funny.
So,
all right.
That was the competition. I still don't know who won. That segment, but they won a Morphlite setup, whoever won that contest.
Oh, cool.
Sounds like though everything that we've been hearing from Rich and other people that were on the trip is that it was a really fun trip.
Awesome.
Everybody had a really good time.
Sounds like it would have been a fun time.
Yep. They're in production right now. And I believe they're going to be airing it around Trail Hero.
Sure.
So launching the episodes
Makes
of
sense.
Trail Hero Expedition
Yep.
During the time of Trail Hero this year. So,
cool. Yeah. Well, Nathan, call us and let us know what you thought and your experience.
Yep. Next up is Zach from Oklahoma again.
All right.
Here we go. Here's I got 2 back to back.
All right. Okay. I'm ready.
What's up, Jimmy and Tyler? It's Zach from Oklahoma. If it sounds like I'm slightly in pain at moments, it's because I smacked my ribs into a back of a car last night on a bike ride. Yeah, so they hurt.
Ouch.
But anyways, about the truck. I got it back last weekend or a couple weeks ago. Over Mother's Day weekend, I had driven down to Fort Worth to see my mom. And as I was leaving, I got into an accident. It was definitely my fault, but the parts that were broken were the tie rod, it was bent, the lower control arm, I think the bushing broke, and I cracked the wheel. I mean, I have it now, it's driving fine. But I now have to either try to find the wheels that I have, which Method does not make anymore, and I try to get a wheel off Skinny Pedal, but they're like, Method doesn't make these anymore, and we don't carry them on our shelf. I'm like, cool, great. So now I'm like, where do I find it? I haven't found anything on eBay yet. I found something on Amazon, but I don't want the same thing happening again. If I try to order it on Amazon, they're like, oh, we don't have it. So I'm like, darn. So my other option is buying a whole new set of wheels, because right now it's driving me nuts that one of the wheels is different and stuff. So, the wheels that I'm looking at are Nomads. They're relatively a new brand of wheel. I think they were established in 2022, so they haven't been around a long time. I don't know if they've got any, like, bead grip technology like Method has, so I guess I'm taking a risk there, but I don't really air down that low anyways, so, now, something I did learn, because I'm using the Steely, that's the spare, and it has the stock offset, which is 25, Methods are a 0 offset. I discovered that the 25 offset, there is no rubbing, and there's actually less rubbing than they are on the Method. So that makes my brain turn, and well, do I want to get a neutral offset, or not a neutral offset, 25 offset for the next set of wheels, or something like that. So I've got a lot to decide. Well, y'all keep crawling, and y'all have a good day. Bye.
He made that in 3 seconds before the cutoff.
Impressive.
Zach, were you timing that?
He did end pretty quick.
Yeah.
So maybe he was.
Guess who called while we were listening to that voicemail?
Zach.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah. It's while we were listening to that notification came through, said new voicemail from Zach from Oklahoma.
That's funny. So he sent photos in.
Yes.
I have them right here.
Okay.
I pulled them up. You can barely see the crack. I'll throw this up on the video for everybody if you want to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
You can barely see the crack.
Yeah, I have them here too.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Down at the bottom of the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely looks like there is an issue there for sure. And then, yeah, the tie rod's all screwed up. Like you can see that. So, the zero offset, my question is, are you rubbing the body mount? That's my guess of what you're rubbing, because the tire's out a little bit farther. And so you're turning and you're hitting the body mount. Body mount chop could solve that. And then when you go to the negative 25, which is what the stock wheels are, it's pulling it in. So now your scrub radius isn't as large, so you're not going to be hitting that body mount. So that's probably what's going on there. My 2 cents is move the spare tire to the passenger side if it's not already. That way you're not going to see it as much, because you always walk up to the driver's side and you won't be seeing that passenger side as often, and you won't notice it as often, but until occasionally when you're walking up from that other side. So it won't bother you quite as much. But yeah, I guess either you got to wait and watch Facebook Marketplace or something to be selling some of those wheels. And my guess is they're probably going to be selling them in sets of 4s anyway. And if it's a discontinued wheel, it's probably, the likelihood is extremely low that you're going to be able to find a replacement one for that. So either try to find some stock Toyota takeoffs for temporary and figure out what wheel you want to use, or maybe those Nomads might be a good option.
I would move the spare to the rear passenger.
Okay.
And take the rear passenger, put it in the front.
Yeah.
That way you have the same scrub radius on either side of the vehicle.
It's probably smart.
With your wheels, it'll help with your steering and stabilization. And I forget did he say the methods were 0 offset?
Correct. No. Yes, the methods are 0, and the
those
stock
are not
ones
rubbing.
No, those rub more than
those
the stock.
are rubbing. The stock ones are not rubbing. Gotcha. I'd still, you want to have both the same scrub radius up front for your turning stuff. And therefore you'd either run 2 stock ones up front if you want less rubbing, or 2 methods up front, whichever one you want. So
yeah. But yeah, I think in the meantime, a good safety net, which it would cost more overall because you're going to buy something for a temporary use, but maybe just look at those Toyota knockoffs, somebody that's took off their stock wheels and tires and wanted to upgrade tires, and you can just buy those for pretty cheap. Like usually they're like $100, if that.
So yeah, something like that.
And most of the times they have good tires on them. So just throw those on there, romp it around for a while until you find the set of wheels that you like, and then go get those.
Cool. I like it. Next one up is Zach again.
Yes.
So it looks like he had a follow-up from his last voicemail.
Okay.
Here we go.
Zach from Oklahoma again. I want to add something to the last voicemail. A set of wheels that I've been thinking about are the Bradley V's. If anybody knows anything about those, you might be aware that they've been used in the car rally since the 80s, late 80s or something like that. And they're still producing these wheels, and I think they're still even using them in the Dakar for some teams. But they don't sell them in the States. I think they're sold in like Japan, maybe Australia or something like that. I've tried looking into figuring out how to get some. Haven't had any luck. I found a set on eBay, but they're like over $2,000, and I'm like, I don't know where these are coming from. And right now I don't want to buy anything overseas on eBay because last couple items that I bought never came. I bought some like Toyota magazine ads to like frame and put on my wall. Those never came. I got 3 of them, and the other 2 never came. Anyways, but also they're size 16s, which I would like 16s on my truck because the 16s come on the base model Tacomas, as far as I know. But I would have to get new tires, and I'm like, I don't need new tires right now. I might just wait for those wheels. So the other option is stick some Steelies on it and rock those for a bit, save some money so I can get the wheels that I actually want. So, all right, well, I'll catch y'all later. Y'all keep crawling.
I like it. I like that method.
Yeah. I mean, some Steelies or some takeoffs on another truck. But I've never heard of that. Was it Bradley V's?
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. I'll see what they are. But I do know people in other countries. So if you're serious about those, maybe I can ask a friend and we can see if we can get somebody to package them up and send them over. But that might be more expensive than $2,000. Yep. So hit me up on Instagram, Zach, if we want to chat about this. We definitely can.
Sweet. Next up is I'm going to read what the
AI
text to translation says. Cody, Albino, Sandsquarl.
That is exactly what it says.
That is it really?
Yep.
Okay.
So I just listened to Wheeling Wine and Whiskey's episode earlier this week, and I'm just gonna say that there might need to be earmuffs for the younger generations if those younger generations are listening. This guy has a wonderful, beautiful, foul mouth, and he is hilarious every time he calls into the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey show. So I'm kind of worried and / excited for when he's calling in here.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, it's gonna be great.
Hi there, folks. This is Cody, the Albino Sandsquarl. I have been sent here by another podcast by the name of Wheeling Wine and Whiskey to bring you some news. Now, first off, I am all jacked up on Mountain Dew and possibly PCP. I've traversed the desert plains of Arizona, running over everything from rocks, shrubs, and critters to bring you this news while blasting Alice in Chains out of a 1994 Jeep ZJ Grand Cherokee. Here's the news. You don't want to know what it is, brother. You want to know what it is. Toyota stock. That's it, brother. They have sent me to give you that bombshell of information. Have a good rest of your week and a good Memorial Day. God bless.
I love it.
Nice.
Thank you, Cody. It's kind of funny to hear you calling in on the Sisters podcast as well. Yeah. But that was fantastic. So thanks for calling in, man.
Sweet. I like it. We need more phone calls like that.
That was a fun one for sure.
Next up is Richard in Atlanta.
All right.
It was a long one. Here what he's got.
Hey, Tyler, Jimmy, it's Richard down in Atlanta again. Just listening to episode 605, and y'all are talking about this Lexus thing and options about, they nicknamed the car Granny and all that. I guess sensors and things like that. These things might have for steering wheels, take your hands off of it and all this and that. Interesting topic about that. I was at a collision center getting an estimate for my Super Duty. I'll save that comment for another episode. But anyway, they had a guy that was in there. They had this car that had been fixed, and he had like a plumb bob type thing with the center of the car marked out on the floor, and he had like this reflective thing that he was, putting at different points of the car and everything. And I just walked up to him and was like, hey man, what are you doing? Like, what kind of fix is this or whatever? And he's like, oh, we're calibrating all the sensors, like the, I guess sensors for if a car is next to you or the cameras, just all the things that a car has. And, it's part of their, it has to be done, prior to them releasing the car. 15, I think, Accord that just had fender damage, literally just a big dent in the fender, the same place, put a new fender on it, painted it, did all that, and then it was like, another $1,000 or something like that to have all these sensors calibrated, quote unquote. And so the guy was telling me, he's like, yeah, I won't ever buy a new vehicle, we were talking about my truck, and he was like, my work van out there, it can be parked in my driveway, and, for a day or two, nothing going on. You walk in front of it, and you hear all the relays clicking, click, 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 and it's like the sensors or the camera and stuff. And he was just going on and on about how newer vehicles are able to, see other traffic and report through their systems, or potentially report through their systems to police agencies and stuff of violations and things that they see. So it's just kind of odd how all these new vehicles have all these sensors. Not only are they collecting data for you, but they're likely, uploading it or have the ability to upload it somewhere else. And then second, I'm probably fixing to hit the 3-minute mark, but why the hell do the new Tundras have the exhaust exiting on the driver's side, but then like the previous generation, which is still a new vehicle, it exits on the passenger side. I'm not really following that. It's kind of something that stuck out to me. It was kind of odd. I'm sure I got another topic or something I could mention here to eat up the 3 minutes, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So yeah, all these funky sensors on cars, trucks and stuff these days, just kind of makes you wonder where all that data is going. And, the guy just said, yeah, I'll keep driving mine, blah, 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 which is, 2018 and back. They didn't have all this crap on it. I don't want people knowing what I'm doing. So, anyway, yeah, I'll keep crawling.
Yeah, really, really good point. And that absolutely is happening.
Yes, it is.
Just FYI, Ford filed a patent to be able to have a system in vehicles to report speeding back to local law enforcement.
Yeah.
So
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. But then on the flip side, we have a good buddy who is a detective for motorized accidents.
Yeah.
Moving violation, motorized accidents.
Okay.
And he said that there's been a lot of accidents that he's been able to figure out who is actually at fault because of he's able to upload into the vehicle's computers and pull the sensor and camera data that the vehicles are storing.
Okay.
Or get that vehicle's sensor and video data from the manufacturer, and be able to exonerate people that are misjudged or the claim is not correct and who's at fault.
Sure.
Right. So it kind of goes both ways. Yeah, it absolutely is happening.
It is.
Right. And so I don't know, our options are to introduce legislation that says the manufacturers cannot report sensitive data, and then you have to define what all that is back to government officials or law enforcement agencies or whatever. But then if they do that, then are you going to be able to look at the data? I guess you could, because if it's your vehicle, then you can give the law enforcement agencies to pull the data in an accident scenario, right?
I have no idea how it all works.
Yeah, I don't know. But you're Richard, 100%. They are collecting data while you're driving around. So,
and there's a level of data that is collected while you're driving if your car has that technology. But if cars around you have cameras and your car doesn't have that technology and you're speeding, they'll still notify the people that you're speeding, or they'll still capture the data on you next to that person that has that technology. So whether you have that data or that technology in your vehicle or not, that it's kind of negate, because there's still an opportunity for you to get a citation, even though your vehicle doesn't have that information.
Yep. Think of traffic cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
On other vehicles. That's essentially what Jimmy's saying.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think I don't like it. I think I'm in some level of the peace officer needs to see you do the infraction for the infraction to be bad. Yeah. For them to write you a ticket. I don't think that the street cameras, saw you run a red light. I didn't run a red light. Well, the camera says you did. Well, I can, unless I have a dash cam that shows I didn't run a red light, then it's an impossible argument to have.
Yeah.
I was also this last weekend talking to a peace officer that about body cams, and they were saying that they aren't pro or con against body cams. And I said, I think I'm mainly pro, because it helps be honest on both sides. It helps be honest for the civilian, and it helps being honest for the peace officer if the civilian is claiming something that the peace officer didn't do.
Yeah.
Right. So it's an honesty check.
Yeah.
And his thing was, he doesn't like the way that the data's kept. And I've never thought about it. And he's like, there's grants and all this stuff to get body cams on policemen and sheriffs and city police and CHP and everything. There's grants, they're giving out the camera for free.
Yeah.
But the data is being stored, and it has to be stored for 10 years.
Okay.
That's the rule or whatever. Maybe there's the,
statute of
limitations in there. And civilians pay for the data storage. So I'm kind of like, well, I don't know if that's right. It's, I don't know who should pay for it.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
can you imagine?
The people pay for the law enforcement salaries.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
but it's also video footage. So it's way larger than an audio footage.
yeah.
And how many police people are running around a day that they're capturing like on near 24 hours of footage, or let's just say 12 hours of footage. Because a lot of the people I know work 12-hour shifts. And so they're pretty much, I don't know if they turn on and off if they're like not doing anything or motion sensors or what, but there's just a lot of data getting stored, and that's going to be a lot of information. And they can zip some of it and they can compress it to some extent, you know, and store it away until somebody needs it and then open it back up. But it's a lot of data right there.
Yeah.
That I never thought about all that, where it's all stored or how it's stored. And the same is going to go for Ford. Like where Ford might go, this was a great idea, but we don't want to pay for all the data storage.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yep.
We got cameras in case we need it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, data is expensive, but typically the value of data always exceeds its storage costs.
Yeah. Hopefully.
That's the idea, the goal, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I keep nearly everything for this podcast. I keep all the data, everything we record, the raw files, everything. The one thing I don't keep is the raw camera video files because they're huge.
They're massive. Yeah.
But if we got rid of our first 300 episodes, would it hurt us? Like, well, I don't know. Is there a reason that we're storing it? I don't know. I have all my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
All saved up, even the raw files of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do I need that? Probably not. I could probably fill out or clean out a few terabytes.
Yeah.
No problem. But yeah, I don't know. It's also not terribly expensive to store some of this stuff. So who knows? I don't have the perfect answer on that one, but it was an avenue that I never thought about.
Yeah. Yep. So let's see his other question, Richard's.
Oh, Tundras.
The Tundra exhaust.
Yeah.
My guess is it has to do with the new rear suspension. Because this is the first year that the Tundra went to a linked suspension in the rear, coils and links. So my guess is it has something to do with the way the new rear suspension is set up. That's why they routed the exhaust on the other side. But I don't know for sure. That's my guess.
Don't have an answer of why they swapped sides, but when the exhaust runs down one side of the vehicle, you can almost guarantee that the gas tank is on the opposite side of the vehicle. So for some reason, in the brand new 2024 plus Tundras, they swapped the gas tank and the exhaust.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for you.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Next up.
Does Richard have another one? Because I think we're pushing that to 30-minute time limit here.
Nope. We got Lee Lim up next. It's fairly short.
All right. Let's play Lee. We like that guy.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
What's up, Snail Boys? It's Lee.
Hi, Lee.
All function. And it's time to go wheeling. Where we're going. Miss wheeling with you guys. Let's get out. And I had to call in for a correction. The GX 550 is not the 300 series Land Cruiser. If you want a Land Cruiser in the U.S., the 300 series, you get the LX 600. Just like there was the LX 570, LX 450. The GX is always another thing. Or on our Prado. Whatever. Not a Land Cruiser. Anyways, let's get out. Bye.
Bye. All right. So GX is not a Land Cruiser.
No.
Nor is the RX.
No, the LX.
But the LX
is the Land Cruiser.
It's the fancy Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. So that would be the Land Cruiser that essentially the rest of the world gets, is the LX series that we have here, I guess, is what he's saying.
At this point in time, because we don't have, we now have the Land Cruiser 250.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if the rest of the world even has that one or not. I think it might be a small base version for America, but yeah, because the new LX, what is it? 600 is the 300 series, I believe.
That's a Land Cruiser 300 the rest of the world got.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's fancy.
It is fancy. It's
that
nice.
white one.
That nice.
Descent and Stellar built on portals.
Yeah.
Oh God, that thing's so sexy.
Yeah, it is. It's really nice.
I want it. I just need like $250,000.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Somebody wants to give me $250,000 so I can get a very fancy overland rig.
Yeah. And he'll shoot lots of video on it.
I will.
Yep.
Lexus, you listening?
All right. Well, that does it for today. We'll end there with Re-Rim.
Re-Rim.
And we'll pick it up with Florida Frank next time.
He
might be calling to comment on the Beekeeper Frank
maybe
comments. So we got that down to 17 left.
All right.
17 voicemails. We'll see if we get back up to 28 by next week. Always fun hearing from you guys. So bring those voicemails in. Call in 916-345-4744. Love hearing from you. So do it. Call in. We want to hear. I want to hear your comments. Want to hear your snide remarks. We want to hear the corrections. We want to hear whatever you got. Whatever it is, call in. Let us know. I think that's it.
That's all.
All right, man. I guess everybody have a great weekend and be safe on the trails.
Happy Father's Day to you fathers out there.
The number you have called has been disconnected.